Punchline. Alrighty there, so hello. Okay, that was stupid. Anyway, okay, this is another episode of Fighting for the Punch, and today I am going to try to develop something for a skit. And this is a visual presentation, not stand-up, but, you know, basically like SNL type stuff, just something that shows the joke, you can hear it and all that stuff. So, me and my other friend on this channel, we are going to debut another show on the channel. God, it's so repetitive. We're going to debut another show in the next few weeks, like that does a skit every week, and our opening one will be something about censorship. And I don't want to reveal the first skit in the entire video that we're going to do, but basically I just want to, this video will basically be about, the video that's going to be shown is going to be how stupid censorship is, or how dumb it can be, because basically, like, you know, you're having adults who, you know, have the full range of the English language, including swear words and stuff, reduced to little kids speak, because the only reason, like, people censor themselves is because they don't want to offend people, and if you're an adult, then you shouldn't worry about that, I feel. Like, I mean, unless you're being diplomatic, obviously, but, like, most of the time, if you're just, like, showing anger, or, like, you say something because that's just how you talk, then I don't see really the problem with saying curse words and all that kind of stuff. Or shit. Should I have said shit? Whatever. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to develop some skits that, like, exemplify this, basically. So, let me think. So, situations where you would use swear words are, like I said before, moments of anger. I guess just casually, maybe describing somebody, like if you'd use a swear word like that fucking guy, or what a fucker, or what a motherfucker, or something like that. So maybe describing people, descriptive, swear words, shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. Compliments of George Carlin. That's 7 dirty words. One of the greatest bits, comedy bits, especially about language. Fucking FCC. Oh shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. Those are the 7 dirty words, but there's also a whole bunch, you know, I don't even know about. Okay, let me just try to go off of anger so far. So, what are situations where you would be angry? I should also append that with maybe just great stress. Because you might not be angry that you have like 1,000,000 bills to pay, but you could be stressed and be like, fuck. Like frustration, maybe? No. Yeah, it could be frustration, or overwhelmed, also. Overwhelmed. Now, I'm going to try to think of at least 2 skits, because I think 3 would be fine, because I already have one that's, I think, is perfect. Frustrated. Yeah, frustrated, I guess. But I guess it comes from anger when you're frustrated. Like if you're working on homework for a lot, or working on jokes, and you can't figure out what to say, you might curse. Frustration. Okay, another thing that would be funny about swearing, replacing it with censors, would be if someone who wants to curse a lot, but they replace it with you know, with the watered down censor words, and they'll just sound like an idiot. They'll sound like a little kid, basically. So, like, maybe somebody who's describing a situation, or they're telling an anecdote to somebody, and they're using words like Jesus Christ. Not Jesus. They can't say Jesus Christ. Maybe it's like Jiminy Christmas, or instead of saying fuck, you say fudge, shit, shoot, all those other ones. What other ones? Cunt. I don't know. I don't really. Well, sometimes people don't want to say pussy, so they'll say like, oh, sissy. I would feel it's just as offensive if you're offended by pussy, but I guess sissy has like the gay connotation, and pussy is just like, I guess, misogynist to some people. But let's see. So, and you know, they're telling this anecdote to their friend, and they replace all the words that they would use that would exemplify the story to its full potential and show the full emotion that they felt, but it'll be all watered down, and they'll just sound kiddie. So let me try to think of a situation. Maybe something recently. Well, something I was talking about with my friend. On my birthday, which was New Year's, I got a ticket because supposedly I was in Simi Valley and I was driving back home on the freeway with my friend around 1 o'clock. The freeways were empty. It was obviously New Year's. Everybody was inside. They were probably partying the night before, which we had done, but it was 1 o'clock, so I was going to go back home and with my friend. So what happened was, according to my mirrors, and I looked at my mirrors, the lanes were free, so I signaled, my signals were on, and I was changing lanes, and then, but I changed lanes without waiting 5 seconds or whatever you need to wait before changing lanes. I waited like maybe a second, so I was just kind of like, I kind of just went through the lanes. But my signals were on, so, and nobody was around, so I didn't see the problem with that. But anyway, I got pulled over. But, okay, when the guy pulled me over, he was over here. I'm like in the fast lane, the carpool lane, and the cop comes up here. Car pulls over here, my car's here, and he like pulls me over, and he's like, and since at that point I'd never been pulled over on the freeway before, so I did not know the situation. Because he was so close, I assumed that I was supposed to pull over on the shoulder of the freeway, of the carpool lane, because there's like a little spot, like, so I would figure maybe he wants me to pull over here. So I slow down and like pull to the left, and then he's like right behind me and still where he was at before, and he like puts on his like blowhorn and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Fuck, what the fuck?" And even my friend agreed. It's like, I didn't know you could not pull over to the left. And this guy was even blocking. He's like, "How am I supposed to go here without hitting you?" And then anyway, after he like said that, it was like, then he kind of like gave space. He like moved to the side, and then like we moved with him. And then like I finally were able to pull over to the left, and then the guy was like, "Oh, I could give you like an $800 ticket or blah 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 blah." And it's like, "Yeah, you could kill me too if you wanted to, but fuck him." Anyway, couldn't obviously say that. He's a cop. But so anyway, he like I guess takes my ID card, and also like I gave my registration, and when I had got my registration, I had accidentally dropped, when I got it in the mail or whatever, I'd actually dropped the sticker of my registration, the tag, onto the registration, and when I tried to pull it off, it started ripping, so I neatly cut around it because I didn't want to fuck up the whole thing, so I just cut out the space where the sticker fell, and I taped it to my license plate. But the registration had a big like rectangular hole in the registration, but it wasn't like a non-vital part. It wasn't the barcode, it wasn't the VIN, it wasn't anything important. It was like maybe part of the address, so I didn't think it was a big deal. Anyway, I handed my license and registration, and let's see, okay, yeah, so then he looks into the system and whatever, nothing, and then so he's like, "Oh, I see, it's your birthday," and he's like kind of trying to throw me a bone now. It's like he'll say like, "I could give you an $800 ticket, but I'm just gonna give you a speeding ticket and mark you for the registration thing." And honestly, the registration thing I probably would have been fine with because it was only $20. But the fucking speeding ticket, it's like, it's a freeway. And he's like, on the ticket it says 70 and 70. That's like the number on the ticket. So like I'm speeding on the freeway at 70. Like nobody goes over 70 on the freeway apparently, according to this guy. Fucking. And then like he's like making it seem like like he's throwing me a bone, like he's my friend or something. It's like, "I could give you $800 tickets, but I'm going to give you a $400 ticket instead." Fuck. Anyway, so if I can just, I just retold that story, so if I can just, I'll just transcribe that story, and every time I use the instance of fuck, or maybe I'll be like asshole or something like that, I'll replace it with like, what would you replace asshole with? Jerk, I guess. Fuck, fudge. People even say frick, freaking. It's like, I know what you mean, so just say fuck. I know what you're talking about. Like that thing Louis C.K. says about the N, when people say N-word. It's like, you're putting the N-word in my brain when you say N-word. I know you mean nigger when you say N-word, so why are you even, just say the word, that's a bad word. It's like, if you're not using it in bad context, then who gives a shit? But yeah, that's exactly why censorship is retarded. But good guy. Genius. I've even said fudgicles before, but not because I'm trying to censor myself, but I think it's funnier when I replace a swear with like a little kitty word that's even more little kitty than it's supposed to be. Because some people say fudge, fudgicles is even funnier, I think. This one will be, I'll just retell the story I just told on camera about the ticket that I got and how I bullshit and listen. Bullshit, I could say bogus, and fucker, I could say freaker, or asshole and jerk, and all these other replacements, and I'll just replace it, because I'm not going to go into the whole story again and replace it also. You know what I mean. Okay, so then let's think about the second, let me think about the second skit. And plus when you censor, like, especially when I'm telling that story, I'm clearly angry at that guy. So, like, I should censoring myself with, like, these kiddie swear word, or, yeah, or is kind of like me not trying to offend him. And why should I do that if I'm really angry with him? So it deflates the emotion that's behind the story to begin with. So it just, like, yeah, that's why I think that works. So let's go to the next one. Like I said, something that's touched on in the first skit that I'm not gonna say, but, like, the reason why I think the skit that I'm gonna in the video is gonna work is because the situation at hand is very unfortunate. Like, it's very, it calls for a swear word. Like, something terrible has happened, and this is like a very authoritative figure, and the fact that they should, in response to this terrible thing, they should say something like, you know, fuck, or holy shit, or, you know, god damn it. And the fact that this authoritative figure, this very strong, powerful figure, is using a kiddie word, I think is funny, because it's the same reason I mentioned before. It's like an oxymoron. It's contradictory. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It's like, it calls for a swear word. It doesn't call for being, PC, or being, whatever. Not supposed to be, carefully worded things. It's supposed to just come straight from the mind, not go through a filter. That's the point. Not supposed to filter yourself, or not supposed to filter this situation. So using that as maybe trying to think of something similar to that, where, like, the situation calls for something that deserves a swear word, but it's gonna get this kiddie word, and that's why it's stupid. So I'm trying to think one more skit. I don't want to be repetitive as far as situations. The same kind of, the joke is the same. I mean, I guess the whole thing of the joke is the same. Okay, so I made that guy look like a kitty, and it's deflating the emotion in that one. And the other one, it doesn't make sense to use this kiddie word because it doesn't call for it. So is there a situation where I could think of where it's joking, it's ridiculous why it's being used, so that's why it'll be funny, but I'm trying to think of the situation. Ooh, maybe, so, like, it's that skit Dave Chappelle did about the N-word, or nigger, and the Clayton Bigsby character who's, like, spewing that word all over the place, and he's black, and so that's why it's, like, funny, because he's like this racist who's actually black, and that's why that's funny. But okay, thinking about racists and maybe just Christians and, like, things like that, you hear, like, a lot of Christians who don't like using swear words, and some Christians or even racists will defend these irreputable or what the fuck is the word? Reprehensible things. So, like, they'll defend racism, fucking, like, in Georgia, the South, supposed to be like the Bible Belt and all this shit. Fucking all that segregation in the 60s and civil rights, and is like, what the, like, okay, I understand. I can see like a Southern Belle wife who's very Christian, who's like the wife of a pastor or some shit like that, and who won't say an F word, won't be offensive that way, and won't maybe say shish kebab instead of shit or whatever, and they'll still, like, say the N word, or yeah, they'll say, like, beaner, or, they'll be racist, they'll do something else that's offensive and that's just wrong, and then they'll sugarcoat the other stuff that they think is, like, so important. So maybe the second skit could be, I mean, I feel like this has been done before. I guess everything has been done before, so shouldn't worry too much about originality. Just, if I can make this funny, then whatever. So I haven't really know if I don't want to call for an actress just to do that. But I mean, it'd be funny, but, like, it'd just be difficult to shoot it production-wise. I don't really know any Southern girls, but I guess actresses can do accents, so maybe a dinner table scene. And there's a wife, a father's at the head of the table, obviously. Father, mother, boy and girl, kids. And they're like little kids, so maybe an older sister. So they're talking about their day, maybe like just general, how's your day kind of stuff. Be like, oh, how honey, was your day? Oh, John's in the camp, blah 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 blah. My boss won't get off my freaking back. Or maybe he'll say fucking, and then the wife is like, oh, I don't know, Orville, watch your language. The kids are here. It's like, oh, excuse me, freaking, he won't get off my freaking back. And blah 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 blah. It goes on and whatever, and then he's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dear, or whatever. And then it'll be like, the little girl talks about her day, being like, oh, Sally was there, and then she was being a bitch. And it's like, whoa, your language. It's just bringing it up again, And so, tell the audience what exactly are we listening for. The mom doesn't like language. So, and then maybe like the son will do the same thing and talk about his day, and maybe he'll talk about the neighbor, and it's like, be like, oh, maybe like we'll use like a stereotypical, maybe not even stereotypical, maybe that'll be the surprise. If I use like a stereotypical black name to like indicate a black character, then that might be, that's more easy for the audience to understand. But I could just use a regular name, and then when the mom, because basically it'll be, the boy will talk about a neighbor that, like a neighbor boy who like bothered him or something. It's like, oh, well this, and then maybe he's even like a friend with this kid, but like he like got slighted in some way. Maybe the kid doesn't even care about it that much. And then the mom will like respond by saying, maybe like, oh, well, like, okay, the friend will obviously be like a black kid. So like the mom will respond and be like, oh, well, those niggers can tell, or something like that. It's like, oh, you gotta be very careful with niggers. They might do this or might do that. Something totally fucked up. Or it doesn't have to be black people. It could be like Jews or something like that. Could be Chinese people, but it's such a strong, nigger is such a strong like word, like just like globally. I mean, like the whole situation with like right now, people are saying like, oh, racism is over. Usually when I think of those contexts, they always are thinking of like the black president and like white America or this kind of shit. But so I mean that's like a easy go-to thing. So I could like say that, and then that will get it across. The whole contradiction with the not swearing, but all this other bad stuff. So I think that's what I'll go with. I'll refine it later as far as like the exact dialogue, but I think that is the joke right there. So it'll basically, the first joke I get from, I guess, the premise of censorship will be retelling a very angry, emotional story and then replacing it all with kiddie words to deflate that, to just make them sound ridiculous. And the second one will be a dinner table scene with a seemingly nice family that doesn't swear, but especially the mother, the sweet-sounding mother, will say bad words. It's kind of like that the Chappelle skit when he was talking about, N-I-G, and they were the white. Actually, the joke with that one was like the white people who are called niggers and the black and white Leave It to Beaver stuff. But this one will take that, the sweetness of the family, and that is also the joke. The sweetness of the family, not swearing, with the vulgarity of racism and I guess horribleness like that. So yeah, that's what I have for today. That's the episode. So next time. Bye. What the fuck?